Boom. Everyone is joining.
Okay, I think we're good to go.
I think so.
Okay, I think you guys still joining. All right. My name is Henning and I am the Tabula Poetica graduate assistant. And I am very thankful that we have all been able to gather here this evening. I'm not sure where everyone is joining in from, but whether it is good morning, evening, afternoon, I greet you. And first of all, I want to thank the Tabula Poetica reading series at Chapman University, and I want to thank Wilkinson College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, and the English department. And then I want to thank Dr. Leahy, David Crossman, and Julia Enley for putting together this reading series. And I want to thank every one of us here. I want to thank all of our beloved poets here this evening for accepting to read with us this evening. And thank you if you're joining to experience this amazing group of readers. Thank you very much for all your time. We are here this evening to celebrate the new books of the poets that we have on bill to this evening. And I'm talking about Dr. Leahy, I'm talking about Lynne Thompson, I'm talking about Coggin and Lisa Coutley and Sara Henning. And actually her name sounds closer to mine. So I was like, am I reading it right? So I thank all of you for making it this evening. Please, you can order for their books. We'll be posting the links to their websites and then wherever you can buy their books, to either Amazon, the bookstore, or to their publishers. So if you can, please do buy from their websites, especially. Most importantly, because you may get signed copies. This evening's reading is going to go by this format, and each poet is going to discuss their work and then read a couple of poems, and then we will have conversations and then questions from our audience. And so if you're here and then you have any questions, please put them in the comment section, and Julia will compile them, and then we will give time for our poets to respond to them. I think we can proceed. And we will first hand over to Kai. And Kai, we want to know if I think I'll have to first introduce Kai because maybe some of you may not know everything about these poets. And so I'm going to read a brief bio of each of the poets, and we'll take it from there. All right. Kai Coggin is the inaugural poet laureate of the City of Hot Springs, and author of 5 collections, most recently, Mother of Other Kingdoms, Harbor Editions 2024, and Mining for Stardust, Flower Song Press 2021. She's a certified master naturalist, a K-12 teaching artist in poetry with the Arkansas Arts Council, a Catalyzed Grant Fellow with the Mid-American Arts Alliance, and host of the longest-running consecutive weekly open mic series in the country, Wednesday Night Poetry. Coggin is editor-at-large at both Swim and Terrain.org and is associate editor at the Rise Up Review. She lives with her wife in a peaceful valley where they tend to the wild ones and each other. Kai, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Henning, and everyone involved with Tabula Poetica, and Anna, my fellow readers, Lisa Faye, Sara, and Lynne. It's an honor to be among you all. I wanted to frame with the opening discussion of the questions that we were supposed to think about as the poets coming into this meeting or this reading. And the questions were, how does your book define what a poetry book is, or what it means, or what it can do? Did you create bookness through ordering and revision? Is coherence of theme, content, form, or voice part of your book's bookness? How did you think about bookness in its composition and now in the reading of the physical artifact? And then to share a couple of poems. So I'm quite starting with just the fact that this is my 5th collection, and most of these poems in this book were poems that I really kept close to my chest for a long time. I always thought that they were too soft and too vulnerable and too tender. As a brown queer woman living in Arkansas and in America during, the last presidential election and term, most of my poems that I was writing and putting out into the world, frankly, had to do with survival and resistance. And after two of my recent books being mostly in that vein, this collection, Mother of Other Kingdoms, is tender and it was a form of self-healing, me retreating into the natural world that has always sustained me and my wife here in Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. And when I was writing these poems, I felt relief, I felt stillness, I felt a sense of meditation and a sense of calm. And so when I put this book together and ordering all of these poems from the last, 8 years or so that I'd been holding them close to my chest, like I said, I could see the potential in that healing, and I wanted to share that tenderness with other people. And so that's really why, that's what the bookness of this book is really about for me, is that sense of healing and tenderness and vulnerability. This book touches on motherhood. I don't have human children, but I am still a mother. It touches on, of course, the social aspects of what's going on in our country and in our world globally, but really it focuses on the natural world. As Henning said, I am a certified master naturalist, and so it's really changed my perspective when I studied the natural world in such a deep way, and almost gave me a new language with which to speak and with which to write. When you zoom in and a bird is no longer a bird, but it's a rose-breasted grosbeak, it gives you this whole new music. And so that's where these poems are coming from. First poem I'll share is called Clutch, after Diane Seuss. Oh, first of all, I want to say that my wife painted the cover of this. I want to give props to my wife, Joanne. She painted the cover for this. She's painted 4 of the covers of my 5 collections, so I'm really thankful for her love. Clutch, after Diane Seuss. I drive to a playground and just listen to them laugh. Watch as they spark conversations with each other, melt inside at imagination leading and questions not far behind. They glow outside of me, and my womb is an empty field of bleeding hearts. If there is truly the taste of regret stirred into this poem, it is warm milk leaking from my full breast into nothing's mouth. It is my arms formed into cradle, rocking no one back and forth. My lips mouthing silent songs, lullabying goodbyes to who was never born into hello. I drive to a playground, walk toward the whimsy of their day, sit on a small rusted horse on a fat metal spring and sway like a ghost. This is the lonely road of regret that leads to the grass underfoot of ache, the sigh of tomorrows, empty of growing, the cycles of my uncreated children still sitting somewhere as stardust, hovering over me, waiting for the clutch of my hand to break through the sky. And in reading these poems out loud, it's really hard to pick like 1 or 2 poems to share, because you want the reader or the listener to really understand the arc and the essence of the book, And so I just want to say out loud that it was hard to just pick a couple of poems. This next poem that I'm going to share before turning it over to Lisa Faye is called Tender and Ache, for Apis mellifera. Tender and ache. I am an exposed bloom, a dandelion with almost every wish blown away, still standing in an empty field with hope of fruiting a dream. Can you see why I mother every possible thing? Why the world becomes my womb and my hands a desperate sanctuary? I rescued a bumblebee from between the window pane and plastic sheeting of the greenhouse, a big bear of a bee, fuzzy and stunned, on the brink of untimely death. Who knows how long he waited for rescue? I cupped his small, slow body in my hand and walked out to the lilac tree laden with blooms and laid him inside a cluster of heavy-scented petals. If you die, at least die happy inside here, friend, I said to him, and his weakened bee arms clutched around the soft white flowers as though he was hugging them so tightly. Then stillness. I checked on him every hour while I gardened, and in a few hours he buzzed by me on the way to the lilac. I'm alive! A heavy song of thanks, a flight line of gratitude. This is how I mother. I rock the smallest species to sleep, lullaby our deepest human apologies into their innocent ears. That same day, 5 million honeybees being shipped to Alaska to pollinate orchards on ice shelves were rerouted by Delta Airlines. They waited on a hot tarmac in Atlanta for hours. Hotlanta, record-breaking heat, the Weather Channel meteorologist joked. The bees died in droves, lifeless yellow-black piles, bodies by the crateful, 800 pounds of dead honeybees, an oversight, lost in the machinery of luggage in transit, moved and left to swelter and starve. 5 million bees, and no lilacs to save them, no open hands, no sweet-petaled embrace, no song of forgiveness whispered into their golden honeyed hives, just the tragic end of 5 million precious pollinating lives, tender and ache. My mother nature heart breaks into 5 million pieces. I stand in a field and buzz with morning. I'm going to pass it on to Lisa Faye. Thank you so much, everyone. Mother of Other Kingdoms.
Thank you very much, Kai. We appreciate you and thank you for coming through and reading for us this evening. The next poet to read today is Lisa Faye Coutley, and Lisa is the author of 5 poetry collections, the 2 most recent out this spring, Post University of Wisconsin Press and Small Girl Micro Memoirs Harbor Editions, the Grief anthology that she edited in the Tampa Doc Contemporary Poets Transcending Elegy. Black Lawrence Press was also published this year. She's the recipient of a literature fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts, a Rona Jaffe Scholarship to the Breadloaf Writers Conference, a Walter E. Darkin Fellowship, and a Tennessee Williams Scholarship to the Sewanee Writers Conference, and an American Academy of American Poets Levis Prize, and the 2021 Gulf Coast Poetry Prize. She is the chapbook series editor at Black Lawrence Press and associate professor at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Lisa, you're welcome.
Thank you for that introduction, and thank you, Kai, for those, well, for being vulnerable and for the tenderness. I love your book. And so congratulations on your 1-month book birthday. I am so happy to be here with so many lovely poets, to be honest, and to have had the occasion to read books that maybe would have sat on my shelf a little bit longer. So thank you very much. And thank you, Anna and crew, for all that you did to make this happen. Thanks for being here, everybody. And I'm excited to have a chance to read from Host because as my bio noted, I had another collection come out earlier this year, and I feel like I've put all of my attention and affection toward that book, and so maybe have neglected this one just slightly, and I'm glad to have a chance to remedy that. So Host, with this very sci-fi cover, is really true to its title. It is exploring parasitic relationships in nature, but more than that, sort of the parasitic relationships that took over were more male parasitism of the female body and violence against women in the female body, and violence against the planet, our violence against the planet. And I try to be gentle and tender with the earth. And Kai's poems resonate with me for that reason. But at the same time, we're all culpable. There's we can't do anything really without somehow contributing to the destruction of our planet. And so in a lot of ways, this book is a love letter to the planet and also an indictment of human destruction. It also touches on motherhood, particularly my experience being a mother to 2 sons. And I read a lot about trauma, legacies of abuse. So all of that factors in as well. And thinking about the bookness of this, I wanted to try to think about which poems to read, and I almost always fall back on the same poems, and I challenged myself not to do that this time. And so I'm going to read a piece. I'm going to cheat just a little bit because it's a piece that's actually more than one piece, but the collection as a whole begins to ask, what if the impending doom that we're watching isn't really even in our control? What if the planet sort of is calling all of the shots? What if Earth is just trying to rid itself of a virus? I'm so sorry that my dog is barking at a school outside. So what if that's what's happening? What if it's not really good or bad or wrong or right, but just another of many natural processes on the body from which we've all come? And so in that way, it's, I don't know, radical acceptance, I guess, of the apocalypse or something. But so it explores different ways that each of us might be parasitized by different controlling factors: anxiety, hate, cruelty to each other, the stuff that's making us gone faster. We're sort of self-destructing, right? And so in thinking about how to write about that kind of trauma, and in conjunction with what's been happening in my own work, this is the first collection where I've allowed myself to repeat, which is to say, for a long time, I've felt certain images and phrases come to me often when I'm writing a poem that sort of calls to another poem I've written already. And I told myself I couldn't do that, but then it occurred to me that that's what happens in a body that's experienced trauma, is that it recurs and repeats. And so in this collection, I've allowed myself to repeat certain images and certain phrases. That's a part of its bookness. And I do that across poems, and now I've done it across collections and even genres, but it's very noticeable in this collection. And it's also the first collection where I haven't written it in more than 2 sections. So this book is halved. It is like mirrored halves, kind of. What I introduce in the first half gets picked up in the second half, and there's no real resolution to the book. So that's a part of its bookness as well. So it's repeating and refusing resolution. And so I'm going to read the piece that's right in the middle. So it ends the first section, and it actually bleeds into the second section, but I'm only going to read the first part because I don't have time. But so in this way, it's a half crown of sonnets, and the poem becomes parasitized by the collection in its way by being halved. And so if you're not familiar with a crown of sonnets, the last line of each sonnet begins the next sonnet, or so the last line of a sonnet begins the next sonnet. And it is also in conversation with Auden's September 1, 1939, if you know that poem, and you'll see some of those lines. So thank you for holding these poems. I've never read this poem in front of people before. It's slightly more didactic than anything else in the book. And so I wanted to try it out. So thanks for letting me do that here. September 1, 2019. I lie back flat on our wooden deck next to my dog, surrounded by heavy-headed sunflowers, hoping they'll seed so I can see what can come from love and devotion. I feel as silly as anyone does wishing on this road where neighbors filled a pothole and fingered Trump 2020 in Quikrete. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright you wrote 80 years ago, though I cannot report more than we have worn the shore thinner, old friend. And how can we expect less from water in motion? Every grain of sand trying to find its way back to ocean or origin. To find your way back to a point of origin, you would need to read all 15 quotes that will change your life if you choose to apply how migratory birds find their way, tethered to a nest and hopping on one leg, according to Google search's first suggestions. Fuck evolution for Facebook, the safe place to hate, where once there were town squares for open stoning. Someone's president says we should pool our nuclear weapons because it's hurricane season. Last week, the sun cracked open and a 2 million mile per hour gust is set to lash Earth. Make the best of it. Bend your neck in awe of Aurora Borealis, despite the sky's limit. Even Aurora, goddess of dawn, is bound by the call of an only sun. Rosy-fingered bitch caught in her own kind of cycle. Old habits formed from older pain, mismanaged grief. Why must we suffer them all again? Who among us recalls coming home from a first day of school, opening the door to find your parents were suddenly in another country you have never called home? The way your backpack slumped against the wall, or you never took it off, as no one held you, rocked you, as you wept to sleep into your newest always pain. To sleep with your newest always pain will require taking your medicine good little until sleep is duty. Euphoric dream. We can't see us in your mirror anymore, though we've made a contest of staring. Maybe we always did. We cannot stop asking if there is not another, better, easier reason we haven't found a cure for Earth. Maybe it's as simple as looking into that expired hope and repeating, we are the disease. Or is that too confusing with so many heavy bets on the table? We all know Earth could be flat if it were not round, if we could agree on even that. And then it picks up in the second section. So thank you. I'm passing it off to Sara.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for reading your amazing poems for us. And just to say that this is what was the name? The poet Donna Levine says about the book. Host, what does it mean? This is the crucial question of Lisa Faye Coutley's Sierra new collection of poetry. What is to be a mother hosting sons, especially in a nation in the grip of patriarchal rage? To have a female body forced to host violence and trauma, to be part of the human host destroying our host, the earth. These are deeply lived and deeply felt questions of Coutley, who brings them under her fierce gaze and writes them into poems of great candor and power. And so I wanted to reserve these for after because I didn't want them to influence how our audience will listen to these poems. I wanted everybody to enjoy the poems on their own. And the next poet is Sara Henning. And Sara is the author of the poetry collection Bern, Southern Illinois University Press, 2024, a Crab Orchard series in poetry editor selection, Terra Incognita, Ohio University Press, 2022, winner of the Holy Summers Poetry Prize, and View from True North, Southern Illinois University Press, 2018, winner of the Crab Orchard series in poetry Open Competition Award and the High Plains Book Award. She was awarded the Crazy Horse Linda Hall Memorial Poetry Prize, the Poetry Society of America George Coggin Memorial Award, and scholarship from the Sewanee Writers Conference and Appalachian Writers Workshop. She is an assistant professor of creative writing at Marshall University, where she coordinates the AE Stringer Visiting Writers Series. Hi, Sara.
Hi, Henning. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And thank you, Anna. Thank you, Julia and Hannah for, and Tabula Rasa, and of course, Chapman University for your kind willingness to create space for us tonight to share our words and celebrate the power of strong female voices, which is something that I love to do and love to be a part of. So we've all been sort of talking about this idea of bookness. And so I kind of want to contextualize Burn as, sort of in terms of its bookness. So when time stopped making sense for me after my mom died. So I'm just going to kind of start there. My mother died from complications from colon cancer in 2016. And at that time, I wrote an elegy for her. I wrote Terra Incognita, and Henning just mentioned that it won the Hollis Summers Prize. And that book was addressed to my grief as an only child, to a single mother. We were raised well underneath the poverty line, but really what lies on the other side of grief. What I didn't talk about in that discussion was what time meant beyond the compass that humans have to create and order reality. Scientists will tell you over and over again that time is a human construction. It has no meaning in the universe. We just need it in order to function. And when my mother passed away, I'm telling you, weeks bled into days. I mean, I just completely lost my true north. It was unreal. I thought, and I say this with the utmost respect of being a neurodivergent person and poet, I felt that I was losing my mind because time didn't make sense. I had no way to sort of moor myself back. So by not addressing what it meant to have time or that internal compass disrupted, when I created the poems of Burn, and I am a project poet, I like to think about, something thematically that I can kind of link together, or something that I want to, pursue further. I started with Delmar Schwartz's Come Will We Walk Through This April's Day, and there were two lines that are repeating in that poem that became very important to me. This is the school in which we learn. The time is the fire in which we burn. And that's really what I took the lesson to be. I had to learn that time is the fire in which we burn, because we are always burning in time's fire, right? But we get to decide if we fall to our knees. We get to decide if we, are exhumed. We get to decide if, like a phoenix, we rise up from the ashes. And so when thinking about, again, the bookness of this book, fire became a theme for me that was both literal and figurative, something I hadn't written a lot about before. We talk about tenderness and sort of vulnerability. My father was a fireman, and he died in the line of duty, and some of his ashes are still lost in a fire that ravaged West Asheville Baptist Church. There's a plaque on that church after they rebuilt it. His name was Raymond Flowers, and a piece of him will always live there. But the burning is also figurative. Time compounds. Many of the poems consider how time compounds to change how we perceive reality through the lens of our various experiences. And I think we realize that as we age a little bit, is that, something that we do may not be just discreetly done. It's done through the valence of all the other times we maybe have experienced something similar, right? Those things are marked. So what is the result? Which is something, again, that I take to be kind of a project of the bookness. We're a confluence. We're all lattice works of constant change. And we're irreparably changed by what comes before and after our present tense. All we have is our present tense, but we're a lattice work of all those experiences. And so I wanted to read a couple of poems, hopefully a couple, maybe just one, that talks about this a little bit. A number of the poems are written after Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time. So you'll have A Brief History of Skin, A Brief History of Hurricanes. I want to share with you A Brief History of Skin. And it was about a biopsy I had done for Anisva spilis. They thought I might have skin cancer. I don't, luckily. But it's written as a reversal, which is modeled after Ansel Elkins's very lovely and brilliant reversal lynching, which you should read and read again. And there's an epigraph from Longfellow. In the infinite meadow of heaven blossom the lovely stars, the forget-me-not of the angels. A brief history of skin. Return it. The moles constellating my right shoulder. Deep brown poultice. My husband once kissed his way into its world. Blessed biopsy knife, swiping through my flesh, my faith. Unname it Nevis Spilus, little Andromeda galaxy stretching my skin, its infinite halo of dark matter. Unwhisper the word melanoma. Those sleepless weeks I swore it glimmered, debris from an exploded star. Unclench my hand from its jigger of vodka. Uncurl my husband's touch from my shoulder. Unwhisper the words cancer, mother. Unburden my skin from the blazing Utah May where one spring the sun ravaged me. Untangle me from recklessness, untrust the tumors from my mother's blood, return her record player's needle shirring through scarred vinyl, Mick Jagger throating blues through her house on Victory Drive. Rebridle her hair to its messy knot, unveil the dime-sized mole on the back of her neck. Give them back, my father's words for it. Forget me not of the angels. Plush field of stars. Give her back her body when she still loved my father, when I still moved within her. But if you can give me nothing, God, return her name for me. Little one, infinite meadow of heaven. I have one more short one that I'll read. And it's just called Burn. It's the title poem. I read it all the time because I have to. It really is the bookness of this book. Burn. If middle age has a shape, it would be the body singing word by luscious word. My body's glory caught in my lungs. If I could, I would uncry myself, send my body back to my mother's womb, where my father once signed his name in blood. I hung there, seam of cells fixed to my holy order, love's microscopic blaze, so much like breathing. My heart still twined to my mother's. Her body, it held me as if she had not given up. I longed to be pulled from my mother some August long ago and lie on her chest, naked, cord uncut, hair matted to my skull. I want to fill again the hollow in my mother death will not take as its house. Teach me, body, to unscar what is scarred, to cherish the uncharitable, my breasts, whipped philosophers, my eyes, a murder of crows. My thighs are engines, leave traces of fire. As I rise up, watch me rise up. Thank you. I want to hand things over to Anna.
Thank you very much, Sara. So of Sara's book, Jeffrey Davis writes, in Burn, Sara Henning risks adding the heat of recall and imagination to a life tindered by loss and trauma, and the result is a poetic illumination across sovereign backdrops of fear and uncertainty as time applies its own pressurization of danger and desire. And it shows how belief and love can abide. Burn is a book of reckoning, and Rebel is a healing. Thank you very much, Sara. And now we are moving to the next poet, and we are going to hear from Dr. Leahy, and from her new book, If in Some Cataclysm, which is out today from Lyre Press. Anna Leahy is the author of If in Some Cataclysm from Lyre Press and the chapbook What Happened Was from Harbour Editions. She has also written the nonfiction book Tumor for Bloomsbury Object Lesson series, She heads the International TAP Journal and directs the MFA in Creative Writing program at Chapman University, where she also founded the Health Humanities program. She's been a fellow at McDowell and the American Library in Paris. Thank you, Dr. Leahy, and we are waiting for you.
Thank you, Hannah. I want to say a few logistical things first. Henning does not have a full-length collection out yet, but you can find his poems at the Academy of American Poets and Poetry Magazine. So you can Google him and read some fantastic poems. We're so glad he's part of our community. Also, Julia loves to have a raffle. And so she will have probably better instructions about the raffle, but stick around until the end. One of the reasons that we did the registration for the Zoom is to have the email addresses on hand, and Julia's going to use a random number generator with everyone's names and raffle off our books. And if you are the winner of my book, then the book has such a beautiful cover that I made a tote bag out of it. So you get a tote bag as a bonus. Also, there will be time for questions at the end. So do put any questions you have in the chat or send them directly to Julia. I think I'm going to start by reading the first poem in the book, and then I'll talk a little bit about the bookness. So the first poem is called On the Brink. On the brink. This year, the universe says, you are old. Panic is a wrinkle that goes only so far. Through the day, around the corner, the bend. Promises don't keep the story in orbit. Order creates chaos, and then there's chaos. Atypical hyperplasias in the heavens, hemorrhages in the hollows of the galaxy, little extinctions everywhere. In the body of the world, in the world of the body, living becomes window weather. Lips press the pain, this clear incision in the world, in the worry. We are glaciers. We swallow glass. Life's shards in the throat, in the heart. How does one get used to this urgent in between what's been and what's to be? And part of the reason that I started with that one is that I think it is very much about time and plays with some of the ideas that Sara's work is also dealing with. And I'm very interested in the ways that our bookness overlaps across poets. This book came to be in part because I was stuck and did not know what to write. And I was at a residency at Ragdale with a group of artists, not just writers, but visual artists, a composer. And I didn't know what to write. And so I decided that I would spread out all the poems, and I spread them out all in my room and found that some of them mentioned middles. And so I gave myself an assignment to write more poems about middles. And I thought it was kind of dumb, but I wanted to hold myself accountable. So I told the other people at the residency, and they were like, oh, that's brilliant. You must do that. And I thought, oh, they are so kind to not tell me how dumb this is. And then it worked. And by concentrating on middles, and Sara mentioned the project book, by concentrating on middles, it ended up to be a project book that had something to do with middles, but also allowed me more range than I think I have ever written before, both formally and in terms of content. And so I want to reiterate this idea of project because I think it gets a bad rap, and a very famous, well-respected poet shamed me at a writing conference when I brought up the concept of project book. And it really threw me off for a while. The other thing that I was told and have worked against ever since is not to use epigraphs. And so my last two books have been very heavily epigraphed, and I can see that in some of the other collections that we're talking about and reading from this evening. I'm going to read a quote by Richard Feynman, who was a physicist. He worked on the Manhattan Project, and then after that, Caltech discovered that their introductory physics students were really bored because the teachers weren't that exciting. So they brought Richard Feynman in to teach the introductory physics classes at Caltech, and his lectures from that class have sold millions of copies at this point. And that's where I get the title. And I'll just read the quote that the title comes from. If in some cataclysm, all of scientific knowledge were to be destroyed, and only one sentence passed on to the next generation of creatures, what statement would contain the most information in the fewest words? I believe it is the atomic hypothesis that all things are made of atoms, little particles that move around in perpetual motion, attracting each other when they are a little distance apart, but repelling upon being squeezed into one another. In that one sentence, you will see there is an enormous amount of information about the world if just a little imagination and thinking are applied. So even though the title comes from the beginning of that quote, if in some cataclysm, the sentiment of the bookness is to think about what happens when things are squeezed together or pulled apart, and how movement works to create the world around us. Human movement, movement of planets on the grand scale, and also that the conflicts and obstacles and troubles we face could use just a little imagination and thinking. There are various series in this collection that are sort of sprinkled throughout or threaded throughout. And one of them is Dear and then a Year, and it's a mid-decade year, and I chose the mid-decades of my lifetime. So I'm just going to read this poem, which I have read aloud, but it's difficult because it's written in columns, and so you sort of have to read down and across. So I'll give this one a go, and then I might read one more. Dear 2015, and this too has an epigraph from Svetlana Alexievich from her Nobel speech in 2015. And the epigraph is, a strong country or a worthy one where people can live decently. We chose the former. The era has turned around and headed back in time. The time we live in now is secondhand. Dear 2015. Too much of a good thing will make your bones ache, and there's only so much you can do. Have you seen the Wikipedia entry, that crowdsourced collection of polyphony? Shootings and bombings, earthquakes and eclipses, thoughts and prayers are eclipses, ellipses. A black man in a police van breaks his neck. The dent in his head matches a bolt in the van. Goodbye, string bender, goodbye, vibrato, and still the world's monumental suffering. I know you know there's something wrong. Your blood keeps the secret. False monuments of polyphonic suffering drop charges like dwarf planets saying goodbye. You're too immune and you know it. There's water on Mars because we looked for it. Oh, what Wikipedia might say next. Go ahead, be rash, and stay in the shade. Threaten the anti-nuclear affliction. Soon, it will seem as if the country's contracted malaria. The mosquitoes have been around a long time, and the policy doctors are ill. I'll be honest, the prognosis is up in the air, but it probably always has been. Listen to who's saying, we've already done so much, when will it be enough? And who's saying, enough already, we can't take it anymore. This time, you will be more than tired, but trust me, this time, you won't be a flash of dust, a phantom self. And then there's another series threaded throughout that's middle body parts. And I think I'll read the one called medial sulcus, and that is the groove in the middle of your tongue. And so I was thinking about taste and how we are defined by taste. And well, I'll read the poem and you can decide what it's about. It's about other things too. Medial sulcus. By we, I mean me. I mean here. It's my tongue, it's my territory, my calamity. I can roll symmetrical halves into magical thinking. Or by we, I mean you, the person I take for granted. I mean there, which tastes sour. My lips pucker, and I try not to think about it, but I know what it is. It's not nothing, not no one. I'm closing the distance or getting away. A grid is a myth the cartographer draws when everything is everywhere or every when. People are suckers for sweet. It's easy to discriminate and difficult to lose the taste for. Bitter is pernicious and abundant and hard to reconcile. Savory is about salivation. When I pronounce them with voiceless friction, it's supposed to feel like someone else's life between my teeth. To say someone is salty is to miss telling details, to speak when there's listening to do. And I think I will end there and hand it off to Lynne Thompson, whose book is also very blue and beautiful.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leahy. I just wanted to share that Lauren Camp says, from what vantage do we see? Anna Leahy's new collection establishes a most intriguing perspective, the middle. These poems reckon with decades and centuries from their centers, measuring personal traces and the historical in-between. Throughout, we top it off and raise to the bottom. The middle is actively made and remade for us, plucky, puristic, and logical by turns. Leahy delves into issues of fertility and physical bodies to find a great richness in the midst and half. Those sometimes murky divisions of life and death, if in some cataclysm exhales into it, knowing a space must be waiting to contain all our possibilities. Thank you very much, Dr. Leahy. And now the next poet is Lynne Thompson. Lynne Thompson served as the fourth poet laureate of the city of Los Angeles, the daughter of Caribbean immigrants. Her poetry collections include Blue on a Blue Palette, out this year from Bow Editions. Beg No Pardon, winner of the Perugia Press Prize and the Great Lakes Colleges Association New Writers Award. Start with a Small Guitar from What Books Press, and Fretwork, winner of the Marshhawk Press Poetry Prize. Thompson's honors include the Tucson Festival of Books Literary Award in Poetry and the Stephen Dunn Prize for Poetry, as well as the fellowships from the City of Los Angeles, Vermont Studio Center, and the Summer Literary Series in Kenya. A lawyer by training, Thompson sits on the boards of the Poetry Foundation, Los Angeles Review of Books, Coggin, and Scripps College, her alma mater. Thank you, Lynne Thompson, for joining us today.
And thank you so much for having me. I mean, this is a feast. I am so honored to be included with these wonderful poets and to hear them give voice to their wonderful work. I don't want to skip thanking everyone at Chapman. Anna, you and I have done several dances together, and I hope we keep doing so. This is wonderful. Thanks to everyone that has made this possible. Hannah and Julia, you know specifically I wouldn't be here without your help. It was interesting to hear Anna talk about her route to bookness because mine was similar. While I was serving as poet laureate, I wasn't really writing as much as I might ordinarily write, but a fellow poet said, if you have poems, you should put them together and make a book because the iron is hot for you right now. And so I did the same thing. I spread the poems out on the floor, as Lucille Clifton has said, that when she thought she had enough poems, she would spread them on the floor and they'd start talking to each other and turn themselves into a book. And I spread mine on the floor and no one said anything to anybody. I was saying, talk among yourselves. Don't you want to have a conversation? And then I realized, well, maybe I should engage a little bit. And realized I had written for many years these poems about women, both personal and more public facing, our angers, our frustrations, our joys, our sexiness, our frustration, our confusion, and began to say, you know, there's something here, particularly given the times that we live in, when people are trying to strip us of our power, both our physical power, our emotional power, our mental power. And I also found that the color blue ran through a lot of the poems, not intentionally, it just showed up, as well as the blues, referencing the musical genre. So I thought, we may have something here. So that was really the way that the bookness of it came about. And then when I found this beautiful artwork, well, it's not working because I have, oh, there it is a little bit, for the cover by a woman who lives in New York. And her, and let me give it the full name. It's a rather long name if I can find, oh, it's too small for me to read. Anyway, she said what she wanted people to think when they look at this cover is that they are either looking through a microscope or they are looking back at Earth from a drone. And I thought, that's it. That's exactly what I want people to walk away with when they read this book. So, and finally, I wanted to experiment with a lot of different forms as a metaphor for the many different forms that women take. We are doctors, we are teachers, we are parents, we are witches, we are priestesses. I just wanted all of those ideas of the many personalities and capabilities of women to shine through the various forms that I chose. So with that, I'm just going to read two poems. This first one, I really do kind of think of it. It comes early, somewhat early on in the book, not at the beginning, because I didn't want to give everything away at once. But I think of it as really the thrust of what I'm trying to say is that we need to claim our stories and not let other people claim and tell them. This is called The Ways of Remembering Women. 1. Do you want to know about the Black Dahlia, or do you want to know the truth about Elizabeth Short? You may not be aware. There is no such Dahlia, and yet lovers of crime focus on the dark of it, the mystery connecting Miss Short to its rare essence, which some say means enduring grace. I thought it was the newspapers who coined it, eager to make a buck featuring the brutality of that January 1947, but no. It was the sailormen who frequented the waterfront along the Long Beach Pier who gave the raven-haired Betty her final moniker. They could have called her Rose for the tattoo on her left calf. Could have called her Star for those who said she was an actress, well-behaved and sweet, despite the hideous tableau she was found in. Her torso, head, and legs savagely detached, each from the other. Her body drained of blood, her mouth slashed from one ear to the other. Skull pulp-like as it roiled in the tall grass of Lemert Park. Did you know she was pregnant, her fetus removed post-mortem by her killer, that a Chandler, yes, one of those Chandlers, was rumored to be the daddy, and still we can't get enough of her, of anything that made her macabre. See Time magazine 2015 describing many confessors to her murder, everyone looking for their main line to notoriety. See how even now you want to know who did it, as well as the horrific facts. Short was alive when a butcher's knife scaled calyx to corolla. 2. See how you don't remember just 4 years before the Lady Dahlia, there had been another Betty, née Nunez, although there are reasons that you forget. She was, it is said, a Pachuca who hung out along Sleepy Lagoon, listened to Central Avenue jazz, and junked old folks' tales of docile Mexicanas who sported plucked eyebrows, darkened lips, and an updo held in place by rats. How many of you remember those 10 days in June 1943? If not, reread Newsweek's piece, not so subtly making judgments about loose girls in LA's Mexican Quarter, indicting them as delinquents, waylaying so-called innocent servicemen with hip swaying and jitterbugging. The girl companions of zoot suitors, so dubbed, whether or not it is true, by the media and by whites with their own style. Many were just girls who were forced to testify against friends or face detention or worse. Yet we only remember them, if we recall them at all, as mestizas, cultural hybrids, traitors, slaves, sellouts, like many women who came to LA, see Nunez and Short, to find different identities and found them as virgin or whore in someone's film or play, or as the unremembered to the rest of us. What can they ever say about what it is we all say about them? To paraphrase an old African, until the lioness becomes a historian, some vengeful animal will always tell her story. So I wanted to include that because there are bits of history woven throughout this. To know why and where we're going, we have to know where we came from. This second one that I'm going to read, second and final one, is a reflection of the experimentation I was trying with form. I am very in love with the cento or cento form, which many of you know is a patchwork or a quilt that combines lines of other poets into a new poem. And in this one, I wanted to pay homage to Terrence Hayes and Diane Seuss for their work in what we are now, several of us, referring to as the American sonnet. But of course, I was petrified because I did not want to write a sonnet because, I mean, it's Terrence Hayes and Diane Seuss, right? So I came up with a hybrid form. I haven't seen it before, so perhaps I invented it, of what I'm calling a centonelle. It's a villanelle that's written using the lines of Diane and Terrence. Frankly, when asked about the autonomy of my body, I consider my inner assassin, as inside me is a black-eyed animal, the umbilicus from which everything originates. I have no origin story, unburdened by conscience like a baby, the umbilicus from which everything originates. I wonder if Jesus wants souls like the devil does. Unburdened by conscience like a baby, the list of pallbearers still in a drawer somewhere. I bet you shapeshifters want souls like devils do, their hinges turning, the list of pallbearers still in a drawer somewhere, an existential jambalaya, their hinges turning, or a clamor of voltas, or some existential jambalaya. My only fear of a virtuous mob, a clamor of voltas shaped like a silver tongue. My deepest fear, a virtuous mob of mother wit and mother woe. Shaped like a silver tongue, I have no origin story of mother wit and mother woe. Inside me is a black-eyed animal. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you very much, Lynn.
Thank you.
So John Murillo says about Lynn Thompson's new book, blue on blue pellets is at turns and often all at once, old and new, that is rooted strong in a long tradition of legitimately experimental. Thompson's range in form and subject matter is equaled only by the deftness with which she handles each. In these pages, we get a true blue blues woman who knows when to whisper and when to yell. One who has lived some and means to make song of what she's seen. Thank you all so much. I want to say a very big thank you to all the poets. Coggin, Lisa Faye Coutley, Sara Henning, Dr. Leahy, and Lynne Thompson for joining us today and for the amazing reading. And I want to thank our attendees as well, our participants. And I want to encourage all of you to buy these books. I have read them and I enjoyed them. And so I encourage you to buy these books, especially from their websites. And yes, and then the raffle too. Yes, there is a raffle. Julia will be working on the raffle. One of the things that I noticed throughout the reading is how poetry, as we say, is a universal language and how true it is. And we can see how almost in all of these readings, we have these merging themes of, space, nature, and time, and even the way the bookness, how each poet talks about how they put their books together, and then we can see that there is so much in common with all of them. And that is one of the things that I wanted to highlight. I think before we transition into questions from our audience, I wanted to ask like a question or two. And that is because I also know that there are emerging poets in this room today. And I wanted to ask the poets if they have the time. And of course, we are running out of time, but if they can answer for us, especially how they found publishers for their first books and not the current books. I feel like it gets easier with time, but for their first books, how they were able to find publishers.
I'll jump
Anybody can-
in.
yeah.
I'll jump in and say that it does not get easier, which is probably not what you want to hear. And
Okay.
others can disagree with me. If it got easier for you, thank goodness. My first full-length collection was Constituents of Matter, and I sent it out to a few contests in the form that it was when it got published. But I had been sending out a manuscript for years and years and years, and I sat down and revised the titles one time, and then all of a sudden, when I connected some of the titles, it made it feel more like a book and allowed me to go back in and revise individual poems. So you have me now thinking that bookness has been a concept that I've been I don't know, struggling with or grappling with for a long, long time. But that was my experience. Lynn, how did you get your first book to a
Well,
publisher?
first of all, I couldn't agree with you more that it doesn't get easier. And part of it is the business of publishing poetry over which the poets have no control. I remember meeting a poet who had several books published by a press, and then the press went out of business. Well, what? So it's hard for many reasons. Obviously, this group shows there's a lot of competition for a small number of poets. So, or for a large number of poets, there's a small number of publishers, is what I mean to say. So it's a challenge. But for me, it was like for many, it was through a contest with Perugia Press. I will recommend all women identifying poets on the call who are looking to publish a first or second book, go with them because they only publish women identifying people. So 50% of the population out of the picture. So that was that was very appealing to me as a place to submit, and I was lucky enough that they chose me. So yeah, it was the contest route.
I will add that I don't think it gets easier either. But I think my expectations changed a little bit, where like with the first book, I really wanted, I know a lot of women I knew wanted, like, not to be weird, but they wanted like a relationship. They wanted a marriage proposal. They wanted like a day, a thing, like, and I just wanted the call. I wanted the right phone call from the right publisher. And when John Tribble called me to say that I had won the Crab Orchard, I was in an airport coming back from AWP late at night, and I just was in the bathroom crying and laughing and crying and laughing, and it was like the most amazing thing. And I was glad that I held out for that. And then I could kind of let go of that a little bit. And what I really learned was that if you find a press that you have a good relationship with, and they work hard for your book and they hustle for you, just stay there as long as you possibly can. Like, hold on to that relationship. And to that end, not to be, well, whatever, I'm gonna toot the horn. Black Lawrence Press is among my favorite presses, works harder for anybody. I published my second collection with Black Lawrence, and then when they made the call for a chapbook series editor, I said, I don't need to publish with you anymore, but I do want to be a part of your press because I love what you do that much. And so they take really good care of their writers. And so yeah, that's my plug and my sort of just if you can take it easy a little bit, I think that's half of it for me.
And In the Tempered Dark is beautiful, Lisa.
Thank you. So glad to have your poem there.
I'll echo my John Tribble call happened when I was out in Nebraska looking at cranes, and my reception was horrific, and I got a missed call from Carbondale, and I thought either something's terribly wrong or I'm delusional enough to think that something might be happening. So I pulled off at a Casey's gas station, and I called the number back, and lo and behold, it was John Tribble telling me I too had won the Crab Orchard Open. And I just remember, I was verklempt, and he, in his wise way was chatting, and he said to me, Sarah, he said, winning this competition, your life is going to change. And he had those sorts of, mentorship moments. That was the thing that I most took away from my relationship with John, was that he was a beautiful mentor. He was wise beyond the capacity of wisdom. He taught me so much about myself, about how to be a literary citizen. And like Lisa said, when you get with a press, this is why I submitted a manuscript for the editor's selection. When you get with a press who, will advocate for you and who will respect your work and treat it with that level of care, stick around, stick around. And yeah, do I love Ohio University Press? You betcha. I think they are wonderful, and you should submit to their prizes. I guess what I'm saying is I can't speak highly enough about both of those presses. They are very kind to their poets.
I want to chime in a little bit too. I've had kind of a different route, and for me, it has gotten easier on my fifth book now. I don't have an MFA. I didn't have that built-in sense of community that a lot of poets have that are in academia and so forth. My first book, I actually sent it out to a contest with Swimming with Elephants Publications out of New Mexico, and I won. And I was completely flabbergasted and surprised. And my second book was also sort of a small press. And my last three books have really been as a result of my work in the community and being a good literary citizen and being out there doing the work that I've done with Wednesday Night Poetry and just being myself and being sort of different than the traditional poet route. And publishers have actually approached me and said, whenever you have your next book, we'd like to publish it. And so there are many, many beautiful and supportive publishing houses and presses out there that are there for you. And it doesn't always have to be this contest driven, high stakes thing. Sometimes it just matters to have your words in a book and those words reaching people, and not sending out your manuscript, for years and years and years and years, but just getting them out there, and for me, that's what has been most valuable, is just having that trajectory of my own kindness being sort of reflected back to me in my publishers. And so Sibling Rivalry Press is out of Arkansas, and so is John Tribble. But Sibling Rivalry Press published my third book. Flower Song Press is an amazing press out of Texas, and Harbor Editions just published Mining for Mother of Other Kingdoms. And so there's so many amazing and incredible editors and publishers out there in the literary world. It's not this desolate, hard landscape that we sometimes buy into. You just have to find your niche and find your people. Everyone has a valid and important voice. And just like Lynne said, everyone has a story to tell. So claim your story and take up space. Find your space and take it.
And can I just jump in and say, I think it's so important when you said, Kai, that you didn't have an MFA. I don't. I'm a lawyer. No poet I know gives a damn that I'm a lawyer. In fact, it's probably a detriment. But I didn't want to go back to school. I'd been to school. I'd been having a big loan debt.
Right.
So I didn't want that. So I just want to support that idea of community. We have established one just with our back and forth with emails. It's not that hard. You will find people that support the kind of work that you want to do or the kind of work you want to listen to. So I just want to give you a thumbs up on that.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you to our poets. We appreciate you so much. I'll turn it over to Julia to talk more about the raffle, or if there are any audience questions.
Yes. Is there any other questions? If not, I will pull up my generator on my phone and pick a number. No? Okay, I'll do that first. So
I like that you have a random number generator app on your phone.
I have no idea.
I don't have it on my phone. I just Googled number generator.
Wow.
Okay, let me flip it. Okay, it says the number is 9, which on my list is Rachel Hall. Is Rachel still on? Okay, awesome.
Terrific.
Rachel, if you can go ahead, I have your email. I'll go ahead and send you an email so I can get your information so we can have the poets send you copies of their books that are signed, as well as a tote bag from Anna and some other goodies too. That's it. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever other holiday I'm forgetting.
Happy publication day, month, and year to all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Happy belated Poetry Month as well.
Yes. Yes.
Happy
We made
almost
we
Pride
made our
Month
own poetry
also.
month.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Julia. Thank you to the rest of the poets.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy reading.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Anna. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Julia.
You.